Hello, everyone. On today's episode of YOUVAK Speaks, we have with us a world renowned athlete and fitness trainer. He has been the winner of Asia's Masters Championship twice and has participated and ranked fifth in the World Masters Championship. He is the founder and director of BFit, a fitness company, and for the past 35 years has trained a plethora of athletes and celebrities like Neha Dupia, Lisa Hayden, Sheba Shabir, Samir Kocher, Siddharth Malia, and many more. Put your hands together for Mr. Brinston Miranda.
All right. Good evening, sir, and welcome to YouWork Speaks. We have with us Mr. Brinston Miranda. Sir, that was a beautiful introduction of yours that we saw. So now that we know that you've been into the fitness industry and you've been training such amazing personalities, as well as you've been an athlete and you've won so many international medals. My first very simple question, or rather basic question to you, would be: is what exactly, in your opinion, is physical health?
The state in which your body can sustain for a longer time, mental and physical, in your daily work routine, let it be sports, let it be working at home, or even your office work. If you can sustain that for a longer time without getting tired or without getting exhausted, that's physical fitness. It's not about you being so strong to run, climb steps. It's about how you can continue your day in the best of form and still continuing it for a longer time, fit and fresh.
All right. So, sir, now that we know that, what physical health actually is, could you give us a certain insight? So, what are those few basic activities or those few basic things that we should do in our daily life, like irrespective of what field are we working in, etc. But those few things that we should incorporate in our daily lives to be physically fit.
Yeah, see, what's the best way is standing on 2 feet. What's the best? Moving those 2 feet. What's the best? Staying longer on those feet. So for me, walking daily to work, if it's possible, walking from one end of your house to the other end of your house regularly, going by a cycle or walking to any shopping center that you want to. So stairs climbing is one of the best physical activities which can be done. Walking, then cycling. So these are very easy basics. So now I would say for a housewife, even when she's cooking, she can stand on 1 feet. So that was building up a strength. If someone is just around sitting in office, even while sitting in office, he can be doing one hand movements, which is also getting mobility and activity done during his kind of workplace. So there are a lot of ways that you should be moving. For me, you need to be moving rather than sitting.
All right, fair enough. That's actually very important. Like even we, for example, we corporate workers and all, we are sitting on that one same chair for so long the whole day, and then we end up with back issues and a lot of problems. So yeah. So along with physical
So and the best,
fitness,
one
yeah.
more thing, one more thing is just the most important thing is sleeping early and waking up early, which is got nothing to do with movements, but just incorporating these two things, your body will be fresh for the day.
All right. So it's more like exercise and so body movement more than exercise rather, and sleep, good sleep is what it is. All right. So along with
Exactly.
that, how important is our diet in the entire role of being physically fit?
Yeah, see, that plays a very important role for performance and a normal kind of routine for any individual. First thing, let me make it very easy for everyone to understand. We always need, our body needs protein, at least around 55 to 60% of protein, 35 to 40% of carbs, and 5% of fat. The reason why we need this is because our body is made up of muscle and we have to strengthen those muscles. So protein intake is very important from our daily routine. Carbs, yes, carbs is a whole lot of things, but there are different forms of carbs. Class 1, class 2. Carbs can be rice, but then if you eat potatoes and French fries, that can go in carbs, but it can go in a very wrong way. Then we need fat. People think that no, I should not eat fat and oil and ghee. The body needs that 5% of fat. So eating proportionate is very important, and eating a stable diet.
Right. So in fact, I was going to ask you that only as my follow-up, which you covered. So it was like that, all like nowadays, if we go to see all men and women, like, young girls, young boys, even rather the ones who are comparatively older, they go into a different types of diets. Like, I've got to hear about these keto diet and about the fasting, intermittent fasting. So are these, like, what kind of an effect do these diets actually play on our life? Like, do they adversely affect us, or are they do they actually have benefits, and how does that function?
Yeah, see, a lot of diets have come. You just name them all. There are zero carbs, keto diet, intermittent fasting. But if it is not right for you, the effect would be you would faint, heart attacks. You would not be able to focus, concentrate on work. So these are all temporary. This is just can be done for a couple of months. You can just lose a little bit of weight in that. But if you want to focus on getting fit and losing more weight, you can't be being on these diets for a longer time. You will not be able to concentrate, and it can affect your brain. It can affect your liver, kidney, because then the source of food not going to into it, it can get destroyed.
All right. So if you had to tell a person who has a very sedentary lifestyle and does not actually have to do that rigorous work in their daily life, so what would be an appropriate diet according to you? Like, what if you had to even mention foods would be like even more, even better, like you can say, but those certain things that we should have, okay, this much of this, that much of that, what would that be for us?
Yeah, see, basically, I would like, it depends upon each individual. If he's working hours along, if he's very active, if he's young, if he's in his teens where he's playing a lot. So he needs to be eating more regular because the body needs energy more and quicker. If someone is going to work, he just needs to be eating his 4 meals. If someone is old, he needs to be eating three longer hours gap. So it varies like that. But when I talk about food intake, yes, he needs to be eating a lot of vegetables and sprouts, salads, meat. Why? Because your muscle is made of, there's a lot of water into your muscle. So you should be eating meat in proportionate, not too much of meat. But the right diet would be more to do with veg and less non-veg. But you need non-veg because it's the highest source of protein. So I would say breakfast should be a mix of carbs and protein, more on the protein side. Your lunch should be dropping of the carbs and more on the protein, because, or you can make it a very small meal, and your dinner should be least of carbs.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's really intriguing. Like, wow. Okay, I never knew that. So, I mean, what happens in most of our households is that our parents who are there, usually our parents cook for us if we are not living independently. So it so happens that there is one type of a dinner table set, and I believe all of us eat from the same, and we eat the same proportions. Like, say the child as well as who's comparatively older eats the same amount of food near about, and eats the same food exact like the same day. So how do we differentiate that? Like,
Exactly.
yeah. So my next question to you
See,
on, yeah,
now
sorry, you go on. Yes, 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 please, sir.
you can continue. Continue.
No, no, sir, please.
See, now it depends. Now it depends upon, as I told you, the child, what the child is doing. The food is same place on the table, but if the child is a sportsman, he needs to be eating and picking up the food that will give him energy. If it's a housewife, she should be deciding, I can't be eating a lot of carbs because then I'm not doing any kind of movements happening. So they themselves will have to be knowing that, oh, this is a meal, a salad. So I think salads I can take more because my activity is less. If the child feels that I'm, and they can digest well, the children of right up to 20, 25. So he can be eating as much thing, but he should be working out. So he himself should know that, oh, I need protein, I need carbs, but I should not be eating lots because my next workout session or my next play is only after 3, 4 hours.
All right. Amazing. So with that, we can move back a little into our fitness section. So if you had to, lure and call all the youth back, because now we see with the advancement of technology, most of our youth prefer using video games and prefer being on different kinds of social media platforms, and that is their time fast. Like when we were younger, for us it was we used to go down in the building. We used to play games like Lagori, Coco, and so on and so forth. So if you had to call these people or rather attract them back, how would you do it? Like what would be your call for them?
See, first thing is stay connected with friends who are active. You can't be staying with a friend or getting in touch with a friend who's always on the cell or internet, because then you're only leading that life. What he's doing, you're going to do it. So for me, it is just find a sport which you feel, wow, it attracts you, even if it is playing a video game or if it is playing it on the TV. If that sport attracts you to play hours, make it happen into you by you being a part of it. So you have to be going out to show that skills what you're playing, to prove that I'm not just playing it, I can also do those skills. So you have to put up a challenge that, oh, if you're juggling the ball and kicking it hard into a goal on your, on the PlayStation, you should be also be able to do it live. If you
Right.
have a hero or a kind of, yes, you have to see what he trains to become that hero, not what he's the hero on screen. You do at least that 10% what he's been training. See his videos, which he has trained, not what he performs. So that's the best way. And then it's better, always good to play a sport, any form of sport. They will make you active.
Right. All right. Like you can say a follow-up question to the same thing is we have a lot of people, or rather a lot of sportsmen that I have come across who are into various kinds of intoxicants. Like they promote, and many of them promote it also that it's all right if we smoke, it's completely all right if we drink along with it, if as long as we are able to play and we are able to deliver that kind of fitness on the field, it's all right. So how would you break this myth, or if, is it a myth, or how would you break this down for us?
No, I didn't get that question. If you can just.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of people, or rather a lot of sportsmen, they they feel that if they drink and they smoke and all these kinds of you can say uh, intoxicants that they add to their body, and they justify it by saying that because of our physical fitness and because we are playing a particular sport or because we are so physically fit, all this does not affect us. So how would you break this myth
Okay,
to all
okay.
of them? Yeah.
See, everyone is talented in some way. So if I would look at it, if this sportsman feels that smoking is not going to affect, he may be having a fast twitch muscle. So if he has fast twitch muscle, even for him to not train, he'll still be fast. So that's why he's talking like that. But he does not know he will not be able to reach the next level where he can become a star, where he can become someone, a legend. So they have to understand, the people should understand that what he's showing, he's not the true picture. What he's showing, because he's definitely cheating on something, he's definitely eating something wrong. I have to be an individual and I have to be myself, knowing that what is good for me and right for me, whatever be his level. He is also having a doc with him, he's also having a masseur with him, so he's got the support staff, whereas you might not be doing that. So I would say always make yourself a better individual. Don't look at a star, because they do a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking, a lot of things to be into the limelight and fame.
Right. All right. So, along with that, what is your take on steroids and any kind of protein supplements? Because a lot of our youth, especially, they want quick gains and quick growth. They want to have that six pack and that lean body very fast, so there's huge big muscles. So, break this down into two questions. So, first would be, what is your take on proteins and steroids and these kind of supplements? And my second part of the question. Uh, Actually, answer this first, then I'll move into the second part of the question.
Okay. Yes, protein supplements. It's a racket. It's big time money. It's about marketing, the way they're marketed. Yes, it does help you, but in what way it does help you? It only builds up a mass. It builds up something. The effort is you, so you have to do that exercise. It only gives you an energy to last longer and perform more. But our body is made up of a lot of organs which cannot take that load which is going into you. So the side effects are liver, kidney, heart strokes. Got it? Extra hormones going to it. So what happens to you is the excess going to you is going to cause the damage, and that is the side effect. So which they don't tell you that these are the things which are going to be a side effect. So it's not a physical kind of side effect. Got it? It's internal things in your body that gets affected. And it's a racket in what way? You need to be selling this product. It's very expensive, and once you get hooked to it, you will always want it. You'll not want to work yourself. You'll say, no, I can't work out. It's why? Because you have been getting used to that kind of a supplement. And it's needing and needing and needing. So today, if you take a 2 gram spoon or 20 grams, in next 6 months, you'll always want a 40 grams
Right.
because your body is got used to the 20 grams. So that's how your body is absorbing more.
So
So
the
in my
second,
this, it's
yep.
wrong.
All right. So the second part of the same question is, what is the difference between looking fit and actually being physically fit? Like we've seen stars like Bruce Lee, and we've seen stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all. They are really buff and all, and they're really healthy at the same time, right? Whereas we have a lot of people who may be really buffed up and really they look very big, but actually they're not that strong, or they're not that physically fit from within. So that, if you could explain to us how that concept works.
Yeah. So as you yourself said, Arnold and Bruce Lee. For me, physical fitness is not about a size. There would be someone who is 100 kilos and doing the same activity of someone who is 60 kilos, but the activity and the speed would be the same. Physical fitness is about the sport that you have taken. If I want to be a boxer, I will need that muscle. So I will not be running more.
Right.
I would be needing more muscle. So his training would vary in that form of building up power and speed. If it's a runner, he will build up speed or he will build up endurance. So you have to pick up a sport. And that sport leads you to that performance. Let it be thin or let it be fat. So now Bruce Lee was very thin. So he
Right.
was muscular, but not as much as Tyson
Arnold's.
or Arnold. But
Right.
for him, that was fitness. For Tyson or for Arnold, having muscles and being fast. So the training is nearly the same. Effort gone into it, the struggle gone into it is what counts more. And that's how he's been fit.
All right. So with that, now we come to a little off the topic of the same thing, is how do we take care of our muscles and of our body at different points in time? Like for example, if we can break it down into, for a teenager, what should be his goal while working out or while doing an exercise? Then when we grow a little older, for a middle-aged person, man or woman, what would be the ideal way of looking after themselves? And finally, for an older person, when their bones and muscles grow a little more weaker, how should they look after their physical health?
Yeah. So for a teen, it would be a lot to do with playing the sport for at least around 4 to 6 hours. Because once he builds up, the child, especially under 6 years, when the child starts growing, his tendons and ligaments are very important. His bones become very important. So he has to start eating and doing activities of just moving. So from that age to 24, he needs to be building those muscles which are going to support his bones and ligament and tendon. So doing strength training, running, playing a sport, flexibility, very important, so that he starts opening up his joints. So this would be needed for a child or a teens right up to 2024. Once you pass that phase where your growth stops and where now you can't build up muscle, then there's a maintaining phase. So he needs to be doing activities which are reasonably good, challenging, but not the way you did it when you were in your 20s, pushed yourself, went to the gym every single day or ran every single day. He should be maintaining, because now his priority is not just fitness, but also his work, which he has to sustain for around 30 to 35 years, his work. So he would drop his training level, but trying to maintain at least 40% what he did. Now, for an older person, anything with above 55, the body has not been able to take the load what it was taking. Your recovery is slow. You need more time to rest. He needs to be working out 4 to 5 times a week, which is good enough. A small activity of walking, just going for a EG, comfortable kind of a playing tennis, badminton, that is fitness for him. Little bit of yoga, that is fitness for him. Meditation, breathing exercises. He does not have to be doing what he did 30 years back. So the phase is like you hang on into it with a lot of load, lot of quantity, maintain, and then what you have to do is just stay to remain fit. That means walking, few exercises, eating right, and yoga and breathing.
Wow, that sums it all up. That's so amazing. Yeah. So
Yes.
my next question to you would be, in a country like India, in our country, how lucrative is the fitness industry? Or if somebody wants to take up fitness as a career, how is it easy? Is it difficult? Or how challenging is it? Or, is it politicized? What would be it? Since you've been in the industry since so long, I think you're the best person to give us an insight of that.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging for someone who wants to enter into this line. There are two reasons. One is because he wants to make it a career which he lasts for a longer time, but he'll also have to do a lot of kind of wrong things like support the supplements that go on. So he'll have to make a decision that if I want to be a true coach or true teacher by my degrees or the qualification that I get, I should not be doing something of also telling them take this supplement because that can give him better results. So he's going to be in a fix. He might be well educated and he wants to do a lot, but deep inside you should know these wrong things which will also pull you down. You might get performance. The children might do well for a couple of years, but you want the sport to remain into him for at least 30 years. You do not want a child to become India number one for 1 2 years. You want him to run for the country and perform for the country for 10 full years. So I would look at it, he has to be very smart and let it be very clean coming out from him that if I want to do something for my athlete, I have to be very clean and run, let him do it in the right way, the correct way. Now, yes, careers are going to be a lot in sports. It's going to be, they're saying it's moving at a very high pace. Uh, uh, these fitness courses and these universities in sport. So it's good to start off with it. India is doing well. We got the opportunities. Children are there. We got population. So they're always there. We have the people to run, train, perform.
All right. So my last question to you would be, anything that you would like to tell our audience or tell our listeners of this podcast in your end? Anything, any advice you would like to give?
Yes, the first thing is, uh, yeah, my advice is that for the kids first, start eating what is made at home, cooked by your parents. The most important thing that matters at that age. When you're in your teens, I would like you to start playing the sport that you like. One, the sport that you like, and one which would be challenging. You need to be spending at least minimum 2 hours out of your house sweating it out. It could be a walk, it could be a run, it could be a sport that you play. And the last thing is avoid these vices which cause a lot of damage to your internal system. Do not think that you are strong, you are headstrong, I can withstand all these things. No, they're never going to. You never know, one day it can be a drastic effect on you which can cause a lot of damage to you and to your family. So live a simple life, change your lifestyle, always live longer and more healthier is where you look at it. Wow, this guy is 80, this guy is 90. Look at that more than what you would look at living for around 20, 30 years without doing anything. So exercise, eat well, sleep well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. So now in this second segment of our podcast, it's called KYC, that is Know Your Celebrity. So we are going to ask you a couple of questions. Okay, Radha, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about your personal life or about yourself that I would like you to answer. All right. So my first question would be, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, in 3 words,
In 3 words.
hardworking. One is hardworking, passionate, and what would you say the third word? Just knowledge giving.
Knowledge. Amazing. And that you actually stand by it, and I've actually felt it all throughout right now. Okay, your second question. Your second question would be, what's the most memorable moment that you've had in your career of sports?
Uh, there were two things, not just one. Most one is when I ran for India and won the gold for my country. So that's one achievement, that winning a gold for your country. And the second thing is that the sir that brought me into the sport is one great one great move that has taken place in my life. Because of him, I'm into the sport for the last 35 years, and whatever everyone has seen is because of him.
Wow. All right. Next one is, I was just going to ask you, who's your inspiration? Like when you were younger, who was your inspiration that you looked up to when you got into fitness?
To be frank and I didn't have an inspiration. I didn't have a role model. I just loved what I wanted to do. I wanted to spend hours in what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be the best person at that hour. I just wanted to give everything in that hour. I did not have. There were people who I knew. Oh, he's good. Edwin Moses, yes, he's good. Carlos, he's good. But I know you can't become like him. You want to say that I want to be the best person I can be. And this was, I'm talking of when I was at age 16. I always felt I wanted to be someone. I want to sign somewhere where someone would see my sign. I want my picture to be put somewhere where people would see my picture. That was my inspiration.
Wow, that is so amazing. So the next question about you is that what is your proudest moment of your life, irrespective of career, irrespective of like any genre? What was your proud? What is your proudest moment of your life?
The proudest moment, it can never be defined one single moment. But when people say, I'm inspired by the way you are doing things, that sums it all. Because by them saying it, that means so many people are getting inspired. And that is what I want to see. People looking up to what they always want to be.
Wow, that
Those
was all.
moments will always come.
Oh, lovely. That was all. Thank you so much. It was brilliant having you, Mr. Brinston Miranda, on YouWork Speaks. It was amazing, all the knowledge that you shared, and thank you so much for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Mr. Brinston Miranda.
It was a pleasure being here. It was so nice. I just wish all the youth all the best. And I'm so happy that I could reach out to many of them. Thank you.